Hello friends, let us discuss few important questions from anesthesia. First question is, which of the following is true about balanced resuscitation? The correct answer is RBC FFE platelet to be transfused in the ratio of 1:1:1. There are two components of balanced resuscitation. First one is hypotensive resuscitation. That is, BP is not targeted to maintain normal level. Second one is hemostatic resuscitation. That means blood components like RBC, FFE, platelet should be transfused in the ratio of 1:1:1. Next question is, which of the following belongs to ASA grade 5? The correct answer is moribund patients unlikely to survive without surgery. There are 6 grades of ASA. First one is normal, healthy. Second grade is patients with mild systemic disease under control. Third grade is severe systemic disease with functional limitation. Fourth grade is severe systemic disease which is constant threat to life of patient. This is constant threat to life of patient. Fifth grade is moribund patient unlikely to survive without surgery. Sixth one is brain dead patient. Brain dead patient can be taken for organ donation. Next question is, which of the following is not correct statement about adequate airway? The correct answer is thyromental distance less than 6.5 cm. These are the methods of airway assessment. Adequate airway means Mallampati grade 1 thyromental distance should be more than 6.5 cm and there should be adequate mouth opening. Next question is, which of the following drug cannot be given on the day of surgery? The correct answer is insulin. Oral hypoglycemic drugs or insulin should be omitted on the day of surgery as patient will be nil by mouth, so it can lead to hypoglycemia. Next question is, which of the following gas does not require pressure reducing valve? The correct answer is cyclopropane. The pressure is around 60 psig. For oxygen and nitrous oxide, pressure will be high, so we need to reduce the pressure to around 35 to 45. High pressure can cause pulmonary barotrauma. Next question is, which of the following is the best circuit for spontaneous ventilation? The correct answer is Mapleson A circuit. This is also called as Magill circuit. But this is inefficient circuit for controlled ventilation. This Mapleson B we are not using nowadays. Mapleson C is used for transportation. Mapleson D is best for controlled ventilation. Next question is, which of the following is not the mode of management in case of airway fire? The correct answer is continue oxygen supply through ET tube. This is not the mode of management. In case of airway fire, we need to stop the ventilation and we should remove the endotracheal tube. Turn off the oxygen and disconnect the circuit from the machine. We need to submerge the tube in water. And we should ventilate with face mask. And then re-intubate the patient and perform fiber optic bronchoscopy to assess the airway damage. We can prescribe antibiotics and steroids if necessary. Next question is, which of the following is not a contraindication for laryngeal mask airway? The correct answer is patients with difficult airway. This is one of the indication for laryngeal mask airway. Rest options are contraindication for laryngeal mask airway. Laryngeal mask airway is contraindicated in cases of full stomach patients, pregnant patients, patients with tracheoesophageal fistula, patients with low pulmonary compliance, morbidly obese patients, and patients with oral pathology or patients with inadequate mouth opening. Laryngeal mask airway are supraglottic devices. They form seal inside the trachea. Next question is, which of the following is not a predictor of difficult laryngoscopy? The correct answer is short upper incisors. One of the predictor for difficult laryngoscopy is long upper incisors. Next question is, which of the following is not a feature of red rubber endotracheal tube? The correct answer is radio opaque. This is wrong statement because red rubber endotracheal tube is radiolucent. Next question is, which of the following is not an indication of nasotracheal intubation? The correct answer is fracture of base of skull. This is contraindication for nasotracheal intubation. What are the other contraindications? We have CSF rhinorrhea, nasal mass, adenoids, and coagulopathy. Next question is, which of the following is the drug of choice as intravenous anesthetic in case of severe cardiovascular disease? The correct answer is etomidate. Next question is, which of the following drug causes dissociative anesthesia? The correct answer is ketamine. There is dissociation of thalamus from limbic system. Patient is conscious but unresponsive. This ketamine is given as IV or IM injection. Next question is, which of the following is the drug of choice as intravenous anesthetic in case of asthma patients? The correct answer is ketamine. This is potent bronchodilator. This ketamine is the drug of choice for full stomach patients also. Ketamine increases blood pressure and heart rate, so it also increases the myocardial oxygen demand, so it is contraindicated in hypertension and ischemic heart disease patients. Next question is, which of the following is not a component of propofol infusion syndrome? The correct answer is respiratory acidosis. This is not a component of propofol infusion syndrome. It is seen in children on prolonged infusion. It occurs due to failure of metabolism of free fatty acid. Next question is, which of the following is not a contraindication for nitrous oxide? The correct answer is abdominal surgery. It is contraindicated in surgeries involving air-containing cavity. Acute intestinal obstruction is a contraindication for nitrous oxide usage. In tympanoplasty and in vitreoretinal surgery, nitrous oxide is contraindicated. Next question is, which of the following route has fastest absorption rate? The correct answer is tracheal route. More the vascular site, faster the absorption, so there is shorter duration of action. In this given option, tracheal route has fastest absorption, but ideally intravenous route has highest absorption. Next question is, which of the following complication is seen in 100% cases in interscalene block? The correct answer is phrenic nerve blockade. Phrenic nerve blockade is seen in all cases in interscalene block. That is why it is contraindicated in patients with contralateral hemidiaphragmatic paralysis. Next question is, which of the following structure is not punctured during epidural anesthesia? The correct answer is arachnoid mater. Arachnoid mater is punctured during spinal anesthesia. Which of the following is not the effect of spinal anesthesia? The correct answer is increased frequency of urination. This is not seen in case of spinal anesthesia. There is sympathetic blockade, so hypotension is seen and tachycardia is seen. In case of spinal anesthesia, there is urinary retention because of blockade of detrusor muscle. High spinal anesthesia can block the cardiac sympathetic supply also, so it can cause hypotension with bradycardia also. Next question is, which of the following is not absolute contraindication for spinal anesthesia? The correct answer is hypovolemia. The other options are the absolute contraindications for spinal anesthesia, whereas severe hypovolemia is the one of the contraindication for spinal anesthesia. Next question is, Which of the following is the most initial sign of malignant hyperthermia? The correct answer is masseter muscle spasm. Hyperthermia is the late sign. Malignant hyperthermia is the syndrome of rapidly rising temperature due to abnormality at ryanodine receptor. There is sustained muscular contractions. What are the triggering factors for this malignant hyperthermia? One is choline, ether, methoxyfluorine, and halothane. Next question is, which of the following drug is not given via tracheal route? The correct answer is noradrenaline. This is not given via tracheal route. What are the other drugs which we cannot give via tracheal route? We have NORAD, soda bicarbonate, calcium salt, beryllium. What are the drugs we can give via tracheal route? We have adrenaline, atropine, lignocaine, vasopressin, naloxone. Which of the following is the most sensitive indicator of myocardial ischemia in perioperative setting? The correct answer is transesophageal echo. Next question is, which of the following is the most common cause of bleeding in a patient with multiple blood transfusions? The correct answer is dilutional thrombocytopenia. Friends, if you like this video, please click like button and share this video to your friends. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for more videos and MCQ series. Thank you.